Good. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for checking my video out and starting off this video. Like too many of these with an apology. I'm sorry for not making more content more frequently. I've been traveling a lot and so just been enjoying life best I can, but I wanted to make this video about a topic that I'm passionate about, one of my favorite topics, Panerai. And we're going to look at 3 different Panerai watches. You see 2 in front of you now. A lot of similarities and some differences. So let's see here. These are a pair of stainless steel Panerai watches. Both are Luminor style. This is a 44 millimeter Panerai, and so, you know, guess the model, 321. That's a 005, all stainless steel, polished stainless steel with a ETA Unitas movement. And this is a Luminor Marina. Luminor because it has the device protecting the crown, Marina because it has a constantly running seconds hand. That's to let you know that the watch is working. So before you jump into the water, you can make sure your watch is working. So this is a 44 millimeter Luminor. This is the Panerai style case. You can see it's very angular. And this is a 47 millimeter Luminor. This, of course, is the legendary Fiddy, the 127 Panerai. And this is a 1950 style case, and you can see compared to the Panerai style case, it's much softer. It's much more, for lack of a better term, voluptuous. Just a beautiful case. But 47 versus 44, both of these weirdly have the same exact movement. So they both have ETA Unitas hand winding movements with constant seconds hands. So really nice watches, hand winding. And the third watch I actually have on my wrist right now, recently got this in as a trade. This is a Panerai 682. So this is also a Luminor style. So this is actually a, so you can say Luminor Submersible though. So Luminor, because it has a device protecting the crown, it is a submersible, and it's like the Marinas, it has a constantly running seconds hand. But the submersible basically means it has a really high quality, really good, unidirectional rotating bezel. Unlike these 2 watches, this one has an automatic movement. This is actually the Panerai in-house P9010 movement. So a really nice watch. It also has a date function there. So let me take this off the wrist. Let me center that up for you. Just the quality of the bezel is just like excellent. The action is really good. So please do not listen to like some of these really poorly done reviews, uninformed reviews of people that complain about the bezel. I mean, it's really well done, really good action, as good as anything out there. Let me take this thing off. So some other differences between the 2. So this one has 22 millimeter lug width, okay, between this one. The 005 has 24 millimeter lug width, and then the 127, so the 47 millimeter, has 26 millimeter lug width. And you can see I've got that on a NATO style strap. Let me take this off. And then let's just look at them side by side by side. So yeah, I mean, just 3 really beautiful Panerai watches. And I think there's certainly a place for all 3 of these in a collection. You know, it's interesting how even though these 2 have the same exact hand winding movement, they just look really different. They look very different on the wrist, and they certainly look very different just as you compare them side by side. You know, a big difference here is that the 127 has those rose gold hands. It's just kind of like a calling card of that model. So yeah, I like all 3 of them. You know, you guys know that I'm a huge Panerai fan. I'm a big Panerai supporter. I really like what they have done in recent years. And admittedly, though, they have had some, missteps. The submersible line, especially the 42 millimeter line, I think was really well done. 300 meter water resistance, just a really well-made watch. You have lots of options, as you always do in Panerai. Of course, this is a 20-year-old watch now, the 127. This is the legend. This is sort of, for me, the final Panerai. And so I was really thankful to be able to pick this one up, and I'm really thankful that I have it in my collection. It's a keeper for me. And, pro tip on these 47 millimeter Panerai, wear them on a NATO strap. They make them really, it makes the watch really comfortable, wears very securely. It doesn't feel that big on the wrist. And of course the 005, the legend, classic, working man's Panerai. I really like it. Let's get these on the wrist and we'll keep talking about them a little bit more, okay? Give me a second. Okay, back. Let's take a look at some of these watches and see what we feel about them. We'll start off with the 005. Really cool watch. I really like it. You know, notice that this is a logo model, meaning it has the OP Officine Panerai logo on it. So I'll try it on my 6 1/4, 16 centimeter wrist. I've got it on a custom. It's one of the fun things about Panerai. I have it on a custom 24 millimeter leather strap, and there you see it on the wrist. Easy to wear. You know, the Panerai case wears really small. I mean, really well. So this 44 millimeter Panerai, it really feels a lot like a 42 millimeter watch. You know what I mean? Nothing is digging anywhere. And one of the fun things about Panerai, as I alluded to earlier, was custom straps, and it's just really easy to change out straps. Now on this model, it screws, and so you need a special, not a special screwdriver, but you need a small screwdriver, unscrew it. The lugs come out and you can change out straps. And so that's the 005. Easy watch, really, really nice watch. Of the 3 watches, I'm showing you the cheapest watch. So you could probably get a 005, especially one like mine, which is like beater condition, you know, like I said, working man's Panerai, for around, I don't know, 3,500. You know, I mean, maybe 4,000, but 3,500 gets you like a great 300 meter water resistant watch that just looks cool. I mean, what else can you get for like $3,500 out there? Not a lot. I mean, some Breitlings, some Tudors, neither of those, though, are a Panerai, especially a legit Panerai that any Panerai will be like, whoa, man, nice Panerai. Kind of an uncommon watch, too. You don't see a lot of Panerai out there. It's probably, I don't know, 20 to 1 Panerai versus Rolex that I see out and about. So that's the 005, rad watch. Really easy to wear, really inexpensive. You know what I mean? If you're looking for your first Panerai, a 000 or a 005 or a you know, or a 111, whatever. Those are really cool Panerai. I like the screw down case back of these series. Okay, so that imparts 300 meter water resistance versus just 100 meter water resistance, like some of the modern ones. Not to say that the modern ones aren't cool, but you know, you can get such good deals on this generation of Panerai case Panerai. It's hard for me to recommend spending $4,000 on a newer version with the press-in case back, even though it's newer, when you can spend the same money, maybe a little bit more, but probably a little bit less, and get a screw-down case back, 300 meter water resistant, and all of the Panerai cachet that entails. So that's the 005, rad watch, love it, highly recommend. Let's try the El Jefe, the Capo di Capi. This is the 127 Fiddy cal. So like I said, I have it on a NATO strap, and it really changes the wearing. To me, the wearing of the watch changes quite a bit. The feel of it on the wrist. So you can really cinch it down on a NATO strap, you know. And so we'll do that. And like I said, it's a simple movement, you know what I mean? It's easily serviced. But the watch, when it came out 20 years ago, was just like the watch. I mean, it was not just the Panerai, it was just the watch to have. You know, a limited edition, single year release, 1,950 watches. They did make a few OOR watches in subsequent years. OOR in Panerai stands for out of range. So they had some cases, had some movements, had some hands and dials. They made a few more, but you know, I mean, there's probably less than 2,500 127s out there, probably well less than that. And so you can see what a 47 millimeter Panerai looks like on my 6 1/4, 16 centimeter wrist. It's a lot of watch for sure, you know, I mean, it's a lot of watch, but man, I mean, it just looks so cool. I've lusted for this watch for a long time, and I finally had the opportunity to trade for it, and I just couldn't pass it up. So this is the 127, the Fiddy cal, and it is sweet. It is everything you think it will be. It's just honest Panerai. It is Panerai at the height of their popularity 20 years ago, and they were doing everything right. I mean, this watch, what was the retail price on this watch? Like a lot of Rolexes, you couldn't find this watch at retail anywhere. And so, but the retail price for the 127 in 2002, when it came out 20 years ago, was around $7,500. It traded over $20,000 at one point a few years after that. I mean, 20 grand. It still trades for over retail. You can get a 127 depending on the condition. Mine is like a lot of my watches, used but not abused condition. So that goes for around, I don't know, $11,000, $12,000. A lot of money, man. A lot of money for a Panerai with a basic Unitas movement. But for someone like me that's a fan of the brand, that has lusted after these watches for long, and then finally am in a position due to maybe the correction in the market, maybe, whatever my own financial situation is, able to finally acquire it. Oh, I had to have a 127. I feel so thankful that I found somebody to trade with and was able to acquire this watch. So that's the 47 millimeter 1950s case Luminor 127, the Fiddy cal, as I like to call it. So really rad watch. I mean, I really like this one. But it's huge. It's a big watch, but I mean, I've worn this on vacation and it's just been like cool, man. I mean, it's just been easy. I like it on the NATO strap though. That is a pro tip from me to you. If you like these 47 millimeter Luminor case Panerai, who doesn't, try them on a NATO. You will thank me. So that's this watch. Love the Fitty, love the 50. That's a lifelong keeper for me. Again, as someone that had kind of grew up in the watch game at this time when this watch came out, drooled after it, was never able to get it, finally having it in hand, really feel thankful. And so let's try the most modern of these. So this is the 682, the first of the 42 millimeter submersible. So this watch is about 5 years old. Nomenclature is kind of complicated with the 42 millimeter submersibles. This is the original, the 682. It was followed by the 682 was followed by the 683, but not right after. A few years later, I have that watch, or I had that watch. Check out my video of it. Same watch, different movement, different bezel. So that had a ceramic bezel. And so now they make the steel bezel now, but it's not the 682, it's the 973. So basically it started off at 682. The same watch now is the 973, and they still make a 683. The 973 and 683, I know, complicated, it's an in-house movement, I guess, but it's not this same movement. It's not the P9010, which of course is a predecessor to the P9000, which was in the original 1950s case submersible. That, of course, being the 305. Check out my video. I know that's complicated, but suffice it to say, this is the first 42 millimeter submersible. It wears a little differently than the current 42 millimeter subs. It's a little bit thicker. That P9010 is a little bit thicker. It has a few other features though. It has an independently set hours hand, which is very convenient. And this is a truly in-house movement that is used only now in their higher end watches. So in many ways, the 682 is a transitional model. It has some features of the original, like the 305 Panerai, including like a variant of that original movement. The lettering is different, of course. There's no blue letters. There's only a blue seconds hand, and so I'll put pictures of those side by side. But this is the original. This is the OG, I guess you would say. I had the 683. I really like that watch. To me, I think both are excellent. I think that ceramic bezel goes a long way, but for someone like me, for my aesthetic, I'm always going to try to find the original, like the progenitor. And so for me, I think the 682 is a little bit more my style when it comes to 42 millimeter subs. It just has the same DNA of the original version, meaning like, on the dial it says Luminor Submersible. The new ones don't say Luminor anywhere on them because they've kind of separated the Luminor and the submersible lines into two different kinds of watches. You can see it on my wrist though. So that's the 42 millimeter watch. Look at the 42 though, compare it to the 47. Now clearly the 47 is bigger. You get a lot more dial, but I mean, they both wear really well, and if my 6 1/4, 16 centimeter wrist can pull off all three of these watches, the 44 millimeter 005, the 47 millimeter Fitty, the 127, and the 42 millimeter sub, I mean, I think you should just buy what you like. You know, I mean, that would be my suggestion. I think there are a lot of bargains in the world of Panerai right now. I mean, 5 years ago, I would have been laughed out of like the internet chat if I tried to make the trade I did for this 127. But you know, I mean, times have changed. I mean, people's financial situations have changed. The market has come down generally when it comes to used watches. That's a good thing. It's a really good thing. And there's a lot of like bargains to be had. And specifically in the world of Panerai, there are a lot of bargains to be had. I mean, you can have a really nice watch, a meaningful and important watch, and you don't have to put out like crazy amounts of money. I mean, for the same price that you're going to be paying for like a Rolex Oyster Perpetual 41. It's a nice watch, I guess, but like nobody cares about it. You can get like you can just about get a 127 Fitty. I mean, a really important, really meaningful watch. For the price of that 41 millimeter Oyster Perpetual, you can get both of these watches. I like Panerai, you know, and listen, I'm a Panerai apologist. I am always going to support that brand. Have they had missteps? I mean, yeah, sure they have. I mean, all brands make mistakes. You know, I'm not a fan of the 40 millimeter stuff, I'll be honest, and certainly not of the sub 40 millimeter stuff. I think it's reaching. I don't like the Luminor Dew models. They came out with like this moon face thing. I mean, it's just not for me. It's not what Panerai has always been about. You know, they came up with this weird like US Navy SEAL collaboration. Again, it seems like they're reaching when it comes to trying to like get market share. But when it comes to the original stuff, certainly, you know, the original old school stuff, 127s, 005s, these will always matter. These are always going to be important watches. These are always going to be meaningful watches. They're always going to be in style. Like when it comes to like, you know, the newer stuff, the newish stuff, the semi-new stuff like 682s, 683, the 42 millimeter subs, slam dunk. I mean, there's a 44 millimeter sub too, and there's a 47 millimeter sub. So you can kind of like get whatever you want when it comes to Panerai. All right, guys, I'm rambling. I hope you like this interesting look at three, not one, not two, but three different Panerai. The 44 millimeter 005, the 47 millimeter, the El Jefe, the Capo de Capi. This is the Fiddy, the 127. And of course, my new 42 millimeter, new to me, 42 millimeter Panerai 682. Guys, thank y'all for logging on. You know, I appreciate your support. I'm sorry for not putting out more content more frequently, but I hope you like this Panerai video. I look forward to making some more content for y'all real soon. I have a few watches that have come and gone actually that I haven't been able to make videos of, but there's some really good stuff out there that I still have in the watch box that I need to show y'all. Guys, take care. God bless. Love y'all. Be safe, okay? Take care. Bye.